What's up, Carrie?
Hey, Dr. John. Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it.
Of course. What's up?
Hey, okay. So, looking for some help with figuring out the next right step for my husband and I here. So,
Hold on. I love the way you put him first. This is going to be fantastic. Because I could tell already you're calling about something that's wrong with him. I can't wait. Go for it.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So, we've been struggling with this decision to have kids.
I love how we are. All right, go for it.
Yes. So, we've been struggling with this decision about family. So, we don't have kids yet. We're struggling if we decide if we want to have them, what to do when the time comes. We had your infamous needs conversation surrounding this.
Okay.
And I actually talked to you about this a couple years ago on a call.
Okay.
And you helped me find a little bit of clarity here. You kind of helped me just spit it out that I'm like, you know what? I think I do want a kid. I just am struggling, moving forward. I kind of only want it under, certain circumstances, basically. And this is where the needs conversation comes in. I told my husband I need him to have a $100,000 salary to live on comfortably before having a kid.
I love it. So good. So good.
Right now, yes, he makes 70. I make 170. So be a big adjustment to go down to 100.
Stop. This has nothing to do with money. You know that.
We are baby steps forward 6. Things are good. You know what I mean? But I just want to stay home. And I know that that's a choice I'm making. That's my need, right? Like that. And I think, quite frankly, it may be the kids' need as well, that I stay home. Because I think, and since our call, I've done a lot of research on this. I've learned a lot about this subject. But babies are vulnerable. From what I've learned, they need a stable caregiver, ideally their mom, in the first 3 years. And you had said on the call, I know kids in daycare, they're fine. Basically saying to me, have the kid, do whatever you need to do. But to me, I'm looking at this going like, I just feel like everybody's out here popping out babies and going, oh, we'll figure it out. And then 10 years down the line, they're burnt out. Their kids are struggling, have anxiety. From what I learned, kids who are not with their parents or a primary caregiver in these first 3 years are, a lot of times you're setting them up to struggle sometimes. And you may not see it right away. Maybe it shows up when they're a teenager. Maybe you do see it right away when they're in school and they're acting out or whatever. But I feel like a lot of the advice out there is just, do what's best for you, mama. Society isn't actually thinking about what's best for the baby. And I feel like I've learned enough to go, okay, I feel like what's best for me if I were to do this would be to stay home. Okay. Does that make sense?
100%.
Mm-hmm.
But this still is not about money. Still has nothing to do with money. And here, what do you do for what do you do for a living?
I'm in sales.
My favorite thing about this is to make 170 grand in sales, you have to be really good at it. And you have to be so good at reading people really fast. And my favorite thing about all of this is that it's like this huge neon sign flashing in front of you and you can't see it. All right, keep going though, but your story's fantastic.
Okay.
Keep going.
I think I want to see him take this action towards like stepping up to the plate, being like, yes, let's go do this. Let's go make a family. Let me go make that 100K. Let me just step up to the plate and do this. He doesn't have biology knocking at his door like I do. You know what I mean?
Not about biology. You're close. You're getting there. Let's just cut to it. Carrie, you don't respect him. Period.
Oh.
You make 170K. You love him and you like him. And he's your best friend. But you don't respect him in that way. Fair?
I don't know. That makes me sad to hear that.
I know it does.
I feel like I love him to death, and he's my best friend. And
he is. He's all those things.
Yeah. I don't think money is everything. I know.
That's why I keep telling you it's nothing to do with money. Mm-hmm. Because in your mind, you have this standard of living, and you have this picture of what life is going to look like. And you are a grade A badass, and you get what you want when you want it. You always have. You're good. And you also have come to terms with the role of motherhood is a role of service.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard season. And you've dug in and you've come to you have etched your values in. And I love that. Whether anybody on planet Earth agrees with it or not, it doesn't matter. You have done the work, and this is where you have landed. I think it's beautiful. But he hasn't rolled up and been like, game on, sister. I'm going to give you the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's never been his job in your relationship. His job has been to keep things fun and light while the whirling dervish that is Carrie goes blazing through the world. And y'all make a quarter of $1,000,000 together. Y'all can do whatever you want whenever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been a fun, stable part of that trip. I think you're afraid to have a kid with him. Am I wrong?
I don't think I'm afraid to have a kid with him. I just think I'm afraid to live in struggle, or I'm afraid to give up on, investing for retirement. And you say it's all about money, and I think I see what your point is, though. I mean, I get where you're coming from. I just think he works in an industry he's serving the environment. He's doing a great thing, and I love that. And I love seeing his passion for it, and I love seeing what he's doing. But I think sometimes you can separate, career from passion. And I think you can, if he says he wants a family, he says he wants all this, and I just want to see him take that step and go, okay, well, you know what? Make a career change, pivot, figure it out so we can do things the way we want to do it.
But you just added something. It's not the way y'all want to do it. Because I think he would, having worked his butt off with you in partnership, y'all don't owe anybody any money.
Mm-hmm.
You're your own bank, right? You have a fully funded emergency fund. You're working on paying off your house.
Mm-hmm.
How much is your house worth right now in West Palm Beach?
We got it real cheap, and it's worth about $450, and we only owe, don't owe very much on it anymore, about $50.
You owe $50,000 on it, so you almost have a paid-for house, a $500,000 house. How old are you?
31.
Okay. So y'all have made $250,000 a year. You got about $50,000 left on your house payment. So even if you got pregnant tomorrow, you're going to have no house payment by the time this baby comes.
Mm-hmm.
You owe nobody. You'll owe nobody anything on the planet. And you're telling me you can't live off $70,000 and a husband who is actively engaged in loving the environment and taking care of his community? Bullcrap. It's not true. Did you grow up poor?
We struggled a little bit financially, and I did grow up in some chaos, but I mean, so does everybody.
No, not true.
I'm not special.
Not true. Did you grow up struggling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Not super bad. I just had a kind of a chaotic home. I had parents that yelled a lot, and they're together to this day, and they've apologized to me. I've done therapy for it. I think I've come a really long way.
Tell me about money, though.
Money, it just never was super stable. My dad started his own business, and
hey, Carrie,
it was all over.
You're a saleswoman, a great one. Don't do that to me. Tell me about how the money was in your house. You don't have to wallpaper it over.
I don't know. It was not always great. It was just kind of like,
stop
all right,
selling me. How bad was it?
Yeah, I guess it was hard. So yeah.
Okay, what does that mean?
Every month is different. We couldn't afford a lot of things everyone else could afford.
I bought my own deodorant in high school sometimes. Was it like that?
Could be sometimes.
Yep.
Mostly not. But not really. Mostly it was okay. I mean, mostly it was...
But everybody in the house knew it was electric, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And if you're like me, the path to peace was always going to be money.
Oh, yeah. I see that. Money solved all of my problems in my life to this point, honestly.
Except this one.
Except I think it does.
You can't. Well, you can't. Money has given you flexibility and the ability to turn potential mountains into speed bumps.
Mm-hmm.
Money can't buy a mom and her baby's love.
Mm-hmm.
Money can't buy safety inside of a home. When it comes to a husband and a wife and a new baby, they just blew up everything that we knew. And
I see safety as, having enough where I can breathe and I don't have to look at each bill and be caring about it and, super, just hype about it. Like I think that 100K is like, you know what? It's
that's a made up.
We can still invest.
It's a made up number in your head. You have a paid off house. You owe nobody anything. You've got paid off cars. Like you've just made up a number. And I think
I feel like
six figures is like is a standard bearer. My man needs to make six figures.
I just think that I need to be. Oh, the other thing is I don't want it to be draining our house. Like I think having one parent whose job is to be the parent, just to be a parent for a few years.
I know,
that's
but
what's going to hold marriage together. That's what's
I agree, and you're gonna have to give on something.
And maybe it is. Maybe you're right. Maybe the 100K number is just an arbitrary number. I thought doing the math on it, okay, I thought this was comfortable. The average family makes $74K a year, but normal's broke. And I don't want to be that.
Yeah, but normal also has $1,000 a month going out in credit cards and car payments. And normal also has a mortgage that people can barely breathe on. You're going to have a $500,000 house paid off.
Fair. I see what you're saying.
In a very desirable place. You have no money. Even if for 2 or 3 years you just pay bills. Y'all are great. You don't owe anybody any money.
No, yeah, I get that. I just worry, like you guys always say in the Ramsey show too, if you're saving for a house, don't put off investing for too long. This is where I'm like, I can still invest to a level that I feel very comfortable, and we can still go out to eat or don't have to think about every single detail. The thing is like,
you're anxious about having a kid. And listen.
Well, yeah, and money.
It's going to blow up everything. It is. The life you've cultivated and curated as a wall against your childhood will come down. It will come down.
I've done a lot of work on it, though.
I know you have.
I feel like I'm at a good place.
I know you have. And it's easier, you're right, when you're at a good place with somebody that you love, somebody that loves you back. And when you have $250,000 of disposable income, it's harder when you create somebody and you're holding all of your fears and your worst anxieties and your worst insecurities, and she's looking right back at you, or little boy's looking right back at you saying, "Mommy, will you always love me?" There is no dollar amount that makes that fear go away, I promise you.
So yeah, what do I do then? I mean, I'm not going to leave my husband. I'm not going to
Good. He sounds like he's great.
Yeah.
You decide if $30,000 is worth transforming your life by creating a family. You have to make that call. Or telling your husband, I need you to get a new job.
Yeah.
I don't want to have a baby until you have a new job. And I'd rather you just go put your passion aside, like you told me. I'd rather you go put your passion aside and go make some freaking money so that I can stay home and go out to eat when I want to and not worry about things. Tell him that.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, that's nonsense. That's nonsense.
I did tell him. I swear to God.
No. I'm saying your needs are nonsense.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I need you to stop being a present, loving, together husband because I don't want to worry about going out to eat when I want to go out to eat. That's insane. That's madness.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
What you have to decide is, what are we comfortable with being anxious about together as we bring a human into this world? And you know firsthand in your nervous system what growing up in chaos is like. You know that. Your parents, you know what screaming and yelling and not having enough money feels like. And that's not your story anymore. You've worked so hard. Yet you keep replaying that story over and over and over again. I've talked about it on the show when my wife confronted me in the garage and she's like, "John, we have enough." And I had to go learn I didn't have a psychological understanding of the word enough. I didn't even consider that word before. And this is like a year ago. This is a long time ago, Carrie. I'm still working through this. I can't think of a greater gift to a home than a husband who can pay the bills, who's working really hard. If his wife wants to stay home, they can do that because they put in the work for the last decade. Who's passionate about his work and is going to contribute, is on a daily basis contributing to making the world a better place. I'll trade $30,000 for that all day long, especially unless you're making 30 grand and that's just not enough to eat.
Yeah, I just feel like, how do I then? I mean, I guess I got to go do more work on this myself and just get myself to a place where I'm like not going to be anxious when he's bringing home 75, or you know what I mean? Like where it will cover the bills, we will be able to eat.
You will be investing, by the way. Everything will be okay. You're going to have a budget. You're going to have to not go out to eat all the time.
No, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you're saying, I want to be the person who stays at home and does all the home stuff, okay, then you have to make peace with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard. That's hard.
Yeah, it's a big lifestyle shift. I understand that. Mm-hmm.
No, it's not a lifestyle shift as much as it's an identity shift. Because you know who you are? You're the girl who makes $175,000. You're the woman who can do whatever she wants whenever she wants. You're the woman who's so good at sales, you can get people to buy things. You make it happen. And you're trading that for, all right?
Yeah.
It is cashing in everything.
Yeah.
At least for a season.
Yeah, a season. That's kind of what I keep in my head is like, you know what, I'm doing this to pay off so I have a 10-year-old that I love. You know what I mean? Because I don't look forward to the baby stage. I'm kind of dreading this. Like as I come up on, I'm in my 30s, all my friends are having kids and everybody's asking, and it's like, I'm kind of dreading this shift. Like where it's like, boom, shoot my career in the foot, boom, stay home for a while. But I think it would pay off, down the line, 20 years from now. These few years will be worth it. This isn't a mutual
fund, Carrie. It's not a mutual fund. And you've created some either ors that are so firm in your mind.
Sure.
In fact, you've done a great sales job on you. And you have a bunch of really firm either ors, have tos, musts. And those are okay, but a kid's going to blow up all of those things.
Sure, yeah. But I'm going to try my, darndest to
I know you are.
Right by that.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I know you are. I want you to check out on Instagram, Nia Ruch, Neharuch.
Mm-hmm.
Hope I pronounced her name right. And her Instagram handle is Mother Untitled.
Okay.
But she posts a ton of amazing articles, ideas, and she's created a community of people moms who are business women who are stepping out. She calls it the gray zone, or gray area, which I think is just awesome. I was this, and now I'm kind of this. It's a place for that messiness.
Okay.
Where identity gets all messed up. And I followed her for a while, and I like a lot of the articles she posts, and she seems to be a good place. So check her out, Neharuch. We'll link to her in the show notes there. But I want you to check that out too. Again, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other resources there, but just as a resource for that hard, messy step. And here's the deal. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't be that person because I've never had to make that transition.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I have felt the squat bar get heavier, like weight get added as I feel the responsibility of a household, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as we add another kid, and then another property, like I feel that weight getting heavier, but I've never had to transition from, like my wife did, from Dr. Delony to Hey Miss to, can I have a snack? Can I have a snack? Right? I've never had to make that transition.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And there's just a lot of messiness. And you can go check out my 500th episode where I interviewed my wife on the show. She talks a lot about it. She gets pretty choked up about that transition. It is hard. It's hard. And like you, I think there's a lot of value in it. But again, I can't put all that on the table because I haven't had to walk in those shoes. I've only sat with folks.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't met somebody that's regretted the trip.
Sure.
I haven't met that person. I'm sure they're out there. I've not met that person. But you escaped chaos with your intellect and your ability to pretzel people up with your words. You're so good at it. And you have escaped your chaotic childhood and what that meant to a little girl by making a whole bunch of money and marrying really well, a thoughtful, like stable guy. He doesn't yell, does he?
No, never.
He just goes and makes the world a little bit better place every day.
Yep.
And all of that goes out the window. I mean, not his kindness, but all that goes away when you're sitting there staring at a little baby and you're like, what do I do now? scary.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the math, you don't owe anybody any money, do you? And in a few months, you're going to have no house payment, right?
Right.
Okay. You have a paid for house. You don't owe anybody anything. Y'all can survive on $70,000 a year or $75,000 a year. Or even if he mows lawns 2 Saturdays a month on $80,000, y'all are going to be fine. The bigger picture will be, is this the world that we want for ourselves, right? Is this the world? Thanks for the call, Carrie. You're amazing. You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Call me again soon. We'll keep having we'll keep having fun. And everybody, get some people to walk with you.